Yo, what's going on, YouTube, and welcome back to Goal Line Hockey. It's your boy, Kevin Forte, and today we're taking a look at your Dallas Stars. Now, the Dallas Stars are in an interesting spot right now. This is a team right now that has 4 potentially available goaltenders. What are they going to do? Are they going to trade one of them? It seems like they kind of have to at this point. One of them has already been relegated to the AHL. So, what is the game plan from Jim Nhl, the general manager of the Dallas Stars? Well, we're going to be going over that in today's video. So, let's get right into it. So, this is from Saad Yousuf of The Athletic. So, the Dallas Stars have a crowded crease with Jake Ottinger, Braden Holtby, Anton Khudobin, and Ben Bishop. Ottinger is their future and arguably their best option right now. When the Stars signed Holtby this past offseason, GM Jim Nhl immediately called Ottinger to let him know their plans for the season. They didn't want him getting down because of the move. It may be best for the Stars and for Ottinger that he remains in the NHL. Ottinger has also shown that he can handle being sent down if it comes to that. Holtby and Khudobin could be traded at some point, though it's not always easy to find a team looking for a goaltender and one that would pay the price. Bishop is eligible to come off the LTIR, the long-term injured reserve, or the LTIR, at any point, but it's not known when he'll be ready for game action. He could go on an AHL conditioning stint. So let me take that back. So at this point, for some reason I thought Ottinger was sent to the AHL. Apparently not. So you have Jake Ottinger, Braden Holtby, and Anton Khudobin. You have all 3 of these goaltenders, and you do have Ben Bishop, who is on the long-term injured reserve, but he is available to come off at this point. He's been on long enough where he doesn't count against the salary cap, but they can bring him back whenever they would like. They haven't done it yet, though. Jake Ottinger, a 22-year-old goaltender. He was drafted 26th overall. He was a first-round draft pick back in 2017 for the Dallas Stars. He played at Boston University for 3 seasons and was a pretty good goaltender at BU with the Golden Eagles. He put up a .926 save percentage in his final season. Really good stats in the East for Jake Ottinger. Lost my train of thought there. He has spent 3 seasons with the Texas Stars in the AHL. He played 6 games his first season at the end of his season with BU. He played 38 games the following season, practically a full season in 2019-2020 with the Texas Stars. And then this season, he has been split. So he has been sent to the AHL. Okay. So his NHL stats, he's played 34 games in the NHL. He's got a .918 save percentage, a .221 goals against average. Now you look at his stats in the AHL, his numbers are worse in terms of goals against and save percentage. They're actually worse than his NHL stats in 10 games. But I don't know if the Texas Stars are as good of a team. That's probably part of the issue there. But Jake Ottinger is a very reliable option, and at the this is the other thing that we have to get to, because Jim Nhl can only hide this for so long, because the problem is it's very easy to look up on Cap Friendly and see a bunch of these goaltenders, they have pending contracts. And if they're in a 4-goalie carousel, chances are they're not going to want to re-sign if they're in that situation. Now, Jake Ottinger is on the final year of his entry-level contract, a 3-year deal with the Dallas Stars, paying him $925K. He will be a restricted free agent this offseason, and I would assume he is going to look for a pay raise in the summer of 2022. Probably starter money. You're probably talking between $4 to $6.5 million in a deal for Jake Ottinger. 4 to 6. We'll keep it at round numbers here. Anton Khudobin is the other option. Anton Khudobin is a 2004 7th-round pick by the Minnesota Wild, 206th overall. He's 35 years old, and he has a luxurious NHL career. He's played in over 200 NHL games, 257 to be exact. He has spent 4 seasons here with the Dallas Stars, and he's been a really good goaltender throughout his time there. A .923 save percentage, a .930 save percentage. But the past 2 seasons have been a different story for Khudobin, and also known as Dobby. He's got a .905 save percentage last season, a major downgrade for him last year. And he's actually doing worse this year. An .873 save percentage and a 3.73 goals against average. That is some of the worst stats in the NHL. Now, here's the other thing. It's well below his career average, which is a .916 with a 2.5 goals against average. This is just not really a good spot for Khudobin. I think that's part of the problem. The fact that he had a bad season last year and teams are like, all right, let's see what he does in the beginning of this year. He has not been very good. Now, the good thing about this is if there's a team desperate enough, they may be willing to take a guy that they could get for cheaper. That's not going to cost them their high-end prospects or draft picks, but for a guy that has been a little bit shaky with their team. And that's why I look at the Buffalo Sabres as that team. I think the Sabres could be very interesting in terms of picking up a guy like Khudobin, and we'll get to the Sabres in a minute. But there's Khudobin's numbers. Now we get to Braden Holtby. Now this is his first season with the Dallas Stars. He spent a season last year with Vancouver as kind of the bridge for Thatcher Demko, who is now the starter. Holtby spent a season with Washington. He spent 8 seasons, really almost a decade, with the Washington Capitals, and he spent some time in Hershey as well during that time. But his numbers are pretty good. He's got a .915 career save percentage and a 2.58 goals against average over his career, which is pretty good. He has a .920 save percentage right now, which is the best he's had in the past 6 seasons, 7 years almost. So he's gotten some really good numbers this year, and this is a goaltender that I think a team like Buffalo could be interested in. Now, the story with Braden Holtby is he's a 32-year-old goaltender, a 4th-round pick back in 2008 with Washington. He has done some winning. He won 2 Calder Cups with the Hershey Bears, the Capitals affiliate. And he's won a Vezina. He won a Vezina trophy in the 2016 season and the William N. Jennings trophy as the best goals against average goalie in the league in 2017. So 2 straight seasons, he had some really good numbers, and that was also when the Capitals were winning, right before they won their Stanley Cups, and when they were winning the President's Trophy consistently. The prime of Alexander Ovechkin. You could argue he's still in his prime. He'll be 80 in his prime, right? But all kidding aside, you're looking at his cap hit last season, which was 6.1. He is still being paid some of that from the Vancouver Canucks as they bought out the final 2 years of his deal. And he's currently on a $2 million deal, a 1-year contract with the Dallas Stars. So he will be on the market next summer, which makes you think maybe there's a team out there looking for some goaltending help. The Buffalo Sabres could be that team. And that way they have time to figure out, is he the goaltender that he is right now, or is he more like the goaltender we saw in Vancouver against a lesser with a lesser team. Now, the Dallas Stars have been very good this season. They're currently on a really great winning streak, one of the best in the league, and probably looking like a playoff team right now. So who's going to go? Because legitimately, you could probably get away with getting rid of 1 goalie. Ideally, you get rid of 2. And then obviously the other goaltender is Ben Bishop, who is there long term. He's got 2 years left on his deal, an unrestricted free agent. And he's making just shy of $5 million per season on that deal. And he has now spent, this will be his 4th season with the Dallas Stars organization, if he ever plays again. Now, he's a 35-year-old goaltender who's had some injuries. He's a super big human being. He's 6'7", 210 pounds. A guy like that in his mid-30s with major, I think he had back surgery or something like that. Usually those guys don't come back from that. And that is my concern here, because let's say Ben Bishop's out for the season and they've got Jake Ottinger. Now you get rid of Khudobin and Holtby. Who do you have as your next guy up? I believe they lost Landon Bow. He is now in another organization. So it kind of hurts you now, because now you're really strapped. You're strapped to Bishop and Ottinger is going to get an extension this year. So the Dallas Stars have got to make some moves. I would probably make the argument with both of their contracts ending this year actually, let me check that. Khudobin's contract ends in 2023. Ooh, okay. So Holtby will be a free agent this coming offseason in 2022. But Bishop and Khudobin each have another year on their contract after this one, which you round it out, it's a little over $8 million between the two of them. A goaltender that's giving you right now an .870 save percentage, and a goaltender who has been on injured reserve for the past year and a half. So it makes you wonder, what is the plan for the Dallas Stars? Now, obviously, it's Jake Ottinger, But what do they do in terms of making a trade? Now, there's plenty of teams that could be in the sweepstakes to pick up another goaltender. Some teams I look at in particular, I wonder if the Tampa Bay Lightning, as a backup, I mean, I know they like, what's his name? Is it McElhenney behind him? He's been a decent goaltender, but again, is that going to work for a team like Tampa that wants to win a cup? Well, Florida's already got their own goalie carousel. I don't see them going after a goalie. The Edmonton Oilers, that was a big rumor going into the season during training camp. Would they go after a guy like Khudobin, who has some history with Jim Nhl? Between Jim Nhl and Ken Holland, they have a little connection there from back in the day. So you wonder if there could be something there. Nothing really materialized. The Ottawa Senators, you wonder. Obviously, they just put Matt Murray on waivers, so they may be, a little bit of a changing of the plans there in Ottawa. But again, they let go of Joey Decord. Now they've got Matt Murray out. So does that change the mindset there? Even if Philip Gustafson's there, do they want somebody else there as well? And obviously the Buffalo Sabres. The Buffalo Sabres seem like the big team that everybody's talking about could be in the mix for a goaltender. Now the problem is, if you're the Sabres, you're probably not giving up a high-end draft pick or prospect for Braden Holtby, as he's on the final year of his contract. Do you go after Ben Bishop or Anton Khudobin? It's kind of the lesser of two evils. Do you want Khudobin, who has had, put up really piss-poor numbers, around a .900 save percentage the past 2 seasons now? Or do you go with the goaltender who hasn't played in 2 years, and Ben Bishop, but he has been a Vezina finalist and a very good goaltender when he is on the ice, but you're taking that risk if you're the Buffalo Sabres. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Which of these goaltenders will get traded for the Dallas Stars? And if so, where do you think they could be a fit in terms of a trade for the Dallas Stars? Leave some comments and some trade proposals down below. Guys, if you like what we're doing here at Goal Line Hockey, want to see the latest news around the NHL, more videos just like this one, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and an even bigger subscribe down below. Guys, as always, thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you again next time.